one in real life.
Hey everybody, this is Starry Eyes, Aether's Workshop Starry Eyes, the podcast where you submit your submissions and we give you tips and tricks on how to improve your artwork. I am Sprite Star, creator of Olympia. We have here Asher, creator. Fuck!
Astro creator of Wishing. Good job.
Damn it. This is what happens when I get gnomed. Shit, damn it. Alright, we have Wish, creator of Astra, and Geek, creator of Malo, and all types of good stuff. Welcome everybody. Oh boy, hey, yeah, we got some submissions in, and got more we haven't got to yet because you guys got a lot of submissions, but we're here for the people, and we're gonna do the thing. So we're gonna do the thing, all right? So we're gonna start off with our first example here. Looks like a forward tilt, I think. Yeah, it's from
or like a dash attack.
yeah, it's from Ira. So yeah. So yeah, we got ourselves a good spin here. What did you guys think of this one?
I think it's like a Demacia.
Spin to win.
You spin to win. I don't know. I can't really score anything bad to this. I mean, at least at first glance,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty good already,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm already surprised because I know this is made with MS Paint.
It is?
Yeah, your boy Blanner grew up the same way I did. MS Paint boys.
God. Tortured artist isn't an exaggeration.
Exactly. We fucking did this shit on proud mode, dude. But yeah. I will say that I kind of have a little cheat sheet on this because I've actually talked to Blanner about things because he has been given a little bit of complaints about some of the animations, and I'm guessing this is one of them to like I guess polish his work, and I personally think he did a great job on this one particularly. I don't see really much of anything he can improve on it because it's that good of an animation.
Yeah, I'd say the same here. Really.
Well, it's time to be a fucking contrarian then, huh?
All right, Geek, hit us with the good stuff.
Okay. It is really really good. Like it's really good. Like I don't know another way to word that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel a little disjointed in the motion though. Like I can tell he's spinning, but not a whole lot contributes to that. Like there's no smear frames, of course. Like we always go back to that subject because Rivals does that. But it just kind of feels like stuff like, especially on the head, is a little disjointed depending on like the angle. Like if you focus on the actual head part of it, which I know you're not supposed to, you're supposed to be looking at there isn't much to suggest a lot of motion in there. Like he does move, but there's not a lot of secondary motion that you can see. It's not fluid.
Yeah.
Same thing with like with the tail, it's better there, but for like a super like put your whole body into it kind of spin, then I would kind of expect the tail to contribute to that and kind of be more like, I guess it would kind of mirror the actual whip because they're kind of the same. But that's pretty much what I would sum it up as if I had to critique anything.
Yeah.
Like, this is like super high level critique. Like, like I know you're already confident in your art, and your art's already really good. So I'm skipping a lot of the basic stuff. Like, I wouldn't say this to like other sprites that have other higher priorities.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about that. Other than that, it's really, really good.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with those points. When, like, for animation that you see right now, it's pretty solid, right? There's always like, hell, even masters of the craft always have something to improve on. So like, that's the whole point of bringing them on this like podcast, to see if we can point them out. But yeah, Geek does make a lot of good points there.
Oh, a good example, if you're looking for like a good example of what looks disjointed, look at the spot where his arm is like pointed to the right on some of the frames. It flickers. It looks like it flickers. Do you see that?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah. I think it's hard to see.
Yeah.
It is hard to see.
We're gonna have,
like,
in order to like pick that out for everyone to like understand what Geek seeing, but sorry, we would have to literally like slow this animation down in like Sprite or something, or in Photoshop, and actually like see where the flicker shows up, because it's still like a fairly fast motion. But yeah, it's there. We would have to like slow it down to like really see it, but it's there. Never heard of Sprite? It's like a pixel art program. It's pretty good. It's not mandatory to make sprites, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say it would be like the closest to industry standard, I guess.
Yeah.
When it comes to pixel art.
But yeah. Just a little bit of the disjoint there. Actually, I know another way to like explain the whole head turn thing, because I'm looking at the animation for the head specifically, and it does look pretty wonky. And that's mainly because like the main like arc of what's going on is with the chain and a little bit of the tail, right? Like it follows that arc extremely well. It's like an oval, right? But the head doesn't follow that same kind of convention, it seems like, mainly because it's like the kind of motion that it is. But I would say to like take that same oval, right, and you just pick like 4 points in that oval, and you just shrink it down, and then you just like draw where the nose would like be at those points, and then just like draw the head around with it. That would help like the whole like curving of it, because it doesn't look curved. The more you look at it, you gotta really look at it.
Yeah.
To like find that stuff.
You know what would be a good reference to this motion?
What would that be?
Have you guys seen like Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure?
I believe I have, yeah.
Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure. There's this. It's basically Pitfall, right? Like from Atari, but like remade into like a completely new game, like remade. And the sprite animations there involve like spinning and throwing a rock from the from a rope, right? And then like once he swings the rock, it does exactly that spin motion for the rope when you throw it.
Yeah, I just Google searched this. Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure. It is a game that was released in 1994. And it's on the Genesis. Neat.
I specifically said Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure because the old Pitfall is like the one from Atari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and check that out. Like if you saw like gameplay of that, you could tell like most of the motions there involving the rope really follows that. Help a lot on
Yeah.
improving that spin too.
Yeah, I'm looking at gameplay now. This is interesting art style.
Yeah. I mean, it's on the
Yeah.
Genesis, what you expect.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Genesis has a very unique way of illustrating art styles sometimes, but yeah, just
But we're not covering that on the podcast.
yeah, we are not covering that because that is not a thing that was submitted, so we're not going to talk about that. But
Yeah, they need to submit it.
yeah, exactly. Submit the entire game from 1994 so we can review it on the podcast and tell you how you can improve the arts. Anyway, yeah, those are some good points. Is there anything else you guys want to add to this animation before we move on to the next one?
Not really. Like, it's really for me. It's like, okay, you could definitely attenuate the rope here.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned all the Maya Adventure specifically because like I feel like it could like benefit from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go on to the next animation, which would be an idle animation of sorts. We got ourselves a fox dude. You don't see a lot of foxes in Rivals Workshop. I know. Yeah, no, like we have Astra, right? But we don't have like a gratuitous amount of foxes, is what I mean. Like we have foxes, obviously, but we don't have like.
Except the other things that Siduri made, and also.
Yeah, no,
And
like
also Fox Dar made.
Fox. That's
If the R don't finish the project.
That's like 3 to 4 examples when I'm like, man, we haven't got like 70.
I mean, if you count the 100% Fox clones, then yes, it is 70.
We don't.
Good.
But anyway, we got ourselves a idle animation of a fox guy. I actually, has this guy submitted like this guy's like name with this? Let me go check. Just so we can get that all covered. Da 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 da. We do not have a name for him on the Starry Eyes submissions, but Hayase, yeah, is the creator of this character. So, which one of you guys want to start us off, or would you like me to start this one off?
I rambled last time, so you guys.
Hell yeah. So,
Hold on.
oh,
Yeah, you ramble this time, and I'll ramble the next.
okay, we got it down. All right. So like, this animation is like the clear signs of a beginner doing the thing, right? Like they're taking the first step of making the sprites. There's a lot of things that's going on that for a beginner pixel artist is showing good signs of improvement. Sorry. So, like the cloth, like the scarf thing, there's like this subtle movement, like showing like motion there. I personally think is a is a good way to like test out the waters, right? Just trying to see if you can move pixels without moving the outline, to show like motion. And that's a good example of it. It can be improved on, but it's a good example. The main thing that's going on here is like kind of the stutteriness of like the tail, and the slidiness is going on with the leg. There's other things that I would probably like bring up, like the arms and the anatomy of like the whole thing, but you know, that's art style thing. That can always be ironed out. Everyone can improve their stuff as they go along. Yeah, it's more so just like the stutteriness of the tail, because it doesn't really feel like it's moving at a natural motion. It feels like it's just there, like it's very choppy, and it doesn't feel like it's moving a particular way. And probably has to do a little bit with like how the legs are being moved as well, because it's just trying to like show some kind of movement there, but the leg is like bending in, bending out, and there's not a lot of direction other than just slide forward going on here.
Uh-oh.
What?
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still alive.
Okay, you cut out for a couple seconds.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tail is kind of unnatural. It doesn't have like an organic motion to it, and then the legs kind of have a little bit of a slide going on here, mainly because like just moving pixels without knowing where joints should be, which is, it's still like an intermediate to an advanced thing to keep that stuff in mind, but knowing about that as you're going along can help you like bridge that gap. So those are the 2 points that I'm picking out for this.
Okay, my turn. All right. So other than the sword looking like a French fry, I mean, yeah. Like Spar said about the anatomy thing. I have one small question though. Is that arm supposed to be inside the pocket?
I don't think it is. I think it's just really stubby arms.
Is it just really stubby arms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then like the what do you call this? The anatomy is completely wrong. Anyway, if you need like, right, a reference, I guess the closest reference I could say is ER Kung Fu. And we're going up about like the NES era to get like the looks right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. ER Kung Fu. And it's just to get the yeah, it's garbage, but like it gets the body proportions like right.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even like animation in a sense.
It's not animation, but it's still extremely important to learn.
Yeah.
Another thing, if it's like your first time, avoid animating the scarf, please. Right?
Yeah.
You're dealing with cloth here, and cloth is one of the most hardest things to animate. You may want to make it like a scarf without a trail to help that. But if you're really dedicated, then you might want to look at follow through or secondary animation. I'm not sure which one of those.
I would consider it secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
the point for like adding scarves to the character designs is to help indicate motion even after the movement is done, right?
Yeah.
Like scarves are always like that's always used for that. If they look mad cool, you know, trust me, we all know this, there's a lot of cool characters with scarves, but like from a design point of view, their thought process when they add a scarf to a character and they, you know, keep the scarf there after they animate, like before they animate, is okay, we're gonna use this to use a lot of motion, and we're gonna show off a lot of motion while just moving this one thing. There's a lot of like video games that do that, right? Strider. Yeah, Strider is is the top example, because if you look at like his Marvel sprites or even like his in-game sprites, he's always standing completely still, but he still looks like he's in motion because of like the subtle motion of his like clothes being moved by the wind, and of course his scarf. Then you have like other games like I wouldn't call it a scarf, but it works in that same fashion, like Mega Man X-Zero, where a lot of
Zero's.
yeah, like Zero's ponytail, like there's not a lot of like things going on Zero himself, especially in the like idle animations and like X4 and up, but like the hair shows that off when he's running around. And it helps like show motion because of it. But then like we would go away from adding a scarf on this character for like your first animated character right now, because that's a lot of hindsight, right? Like you gotta think about all these other things just to have one cool thing animated on this character. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. And why did I add you? You have two things to deal with. The tail also.
Oh,
yeah.
At least you can kind of explain that one away, because they still have like actual control over that.
Yeah.
Instead of it being completely floppy, so you can be like, oh yeah, no, they're just moving it.
I would actually like make the scarf like a bandana or something that's like short of like a tail end, or where the ends are, like something short, right? So you could just focus on the tail, because trying to like match those two, like both of their motion, is it's gonna be a lot of pain to deal with, because I'm looking at like what, 4 maybe 6 frames here. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more to get that like the scarf to move as naturally as it needs to, like a lot of more frames. That's why we're like, don't do that. That's why like Strider's animation is like 40 frames long or some shit, but it's just the cloth moving, because that's where all the motion is dedicated to. Like it's completely hard, it's difficult and time consuming to have a completely motion filled idle animation, let alone the rest of the animation just got to make after this, and then make a cloth that moves naturally behind it. It's extremely difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of fundamentals, not only to like just writing, but drawing in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't recommend adding a scarf, but like I could see how like someone's first baby design would like, you know, have it.
Yeah.
Though if you are really dedicated, you have to take the time. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a first for everything.
Yeah.
There's a price for everything, and the Dar is probably the best example of like extreme dedication.
Yeah.
I've seen.
But what do you have to add to this, Geek?
Me?
Yeah.
Cool. So I don't think either you touched on this yet, but I would look at the outlines on this, because the outlines are very like it might not be obvious when you're actually doing it, but it kind of makes the sprite look a little like doodly, like it's pencil-y or whatever. Which
yeah.
If you're going
like,
with that style, fine. But it doesn't seem like you're actually going for that style.
Isn't there a term for this? I think it's called like double jaggeds or something like that. I'm thinking doubles for some reason. It's like, yeah, there's
anti-alien? I don't understand.
There's a term for that, and you should avoid that. Like, God, I wish I remember what the guy's like guide was.
I know, right?
But
I'm trying to remember the term too, but there is definitely a term for that.
we're getting jaggies in this chat, and yeah. But yeah, avoid doing that.
Yeah, like you use the same like brush size, which is 1 pixel. Like, good job, but you need to be a little more deliberate than that, because like pixel art programs don't really know how to do that, except for Aspray. It has an option for that.
Yeah.
But basically, what I'm talking about is like, okay, on the leg on the left, below the knee, like,
Let
see
me
how the
let me blow
outline
this
is,
up for the chat so they can see it better.
Yeah, the outline on that is technically like more than one thing, because it goes like up and left and up and left.
Yeah.
Or up and right and up and right. So it like fills out both of those parts, but you could like a better way to actually do that would just to be like make it diagonal.
Yeah.
Just just do it pixel by pixel. Like like his arm, the arm holding the sword, that's an example of just making the outline diagonal and not having it be thicker like that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain without actually like pointing out and controlling the visuals, but yeah, focus on having the outline widths more consistent.
Yeah. This what Geek is suggesting could be it doesn't mean like, oh, the everything has to be redrawn. You could redraw it. I would love to see you redraw this, because for someone in almost done with his graphic design degree, I can tell you one thing that every graphic designer will ever do, and this goes for character design, it goes for animation, it goes for just general illustration, it goes for everything. When you're getting your ideas out there, never go for your first thing. Like, that will be the bane of your existence, just jumping on your first result. Olympia took a couple of drafts, and the one that we got on workshop now is, by all intensive like purposes, just one of the final drafts, but it isn't the final draft that I'm sticking with, which is why I'm going with definitive edition. So like, even then, Olympia had like animations that got scrapped entirely and redone because it was the first draft of that animation. This, I would consider this the first draft for your animation, and just for your art style in general. If you would want to take another crack at it, take another crack at it. If you don't feel like you're at that point just yet, give it some time. Mess around with animation right now, but I do suggest that you entertain that idea a little bit, because trust me, you will like the results after that.
And if you think it's starting to become daunting, move to a simpler character.
Yeah. Or at least just like remove the scarf. Like, I'm telling you right now, you're gonna get pissed off at that scarf. This is coming from someone who is still pissed off at capes. I hate capes.
No capes.
You tell me to make a character with a cape, I will leave the server. I don't care. I hate capes, and I will never make I'll never make a character with a cape on it. I will never animate that, because that's all types of hell. I got Aspray. I could do it. I'm not.
Meanwhile, Dar.
Dar and me.
Yeah. I'm fine with baggy pants. Capes, no. I can control baggy pants, but capes are way too open-ended and freeform on how they move.
Yeah,
at least pants work like pants.
And this is why, when I was Astra Definitive, is that I'm reducing the amount of flowy parts because of the same reason.
Yeah, like it.
But still, like, it's clearly Astra still, so don't worry. They're still about like the good movement thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's all I can say about this
one. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff at you, and we're extremely excited to see what you're gonna improve on and what you're gonna do next to this. We're we're gonna go over to our next animation, which will be a running animation for a gingerbread man. So there he is.
This is from something. I forget what. I think it's a Zoomer thing. I'm too old for this.
Oh.
Cookie Run?
Gingerbread stick? Gingerbread man? From where?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. Where is it from that I've seen this?
Where is this from? Come on, you're like 13. You should know where this is from. Cookie Run, okay.
Okay.
I was
Like-
right. I was fucking right. It is from Cookie Run. It's a mobile game.
Oh.
Oh, Cookie. Okay, now I have to look it up because I was about, like, you know.
Yeah, his
about
name
to
is
slam
Ginger
on-
Brave, or Oven Break. Depends. But like, yeah, Ginger
Oh
Brave.
gosh. Gingerbraid. Okay.
Like
I need
Ginger
to actually
Brave.
look at- Ginger Brave. That's pretty. Yeah, that makes sense. The file name is Brave Cookie.
Yeah.
Mm.
I need to look at the.
Yeah, I'm looking at gameplay now.
Yeah, Cookie Run is a mobile like game where it's just like a run. You just
Yeah, it's an
run.
Infinite Runner.
Yeah, it's Infinite
Yeah,
Runner. Weirdly enough, has a pretty like active community in it. Like it actually has a fan base and shit. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, we got ourselves a running animation for Ginger Brave here. Considering the source material, I'm assuming it's pretty on point. I still don't like it though. Like it's accurate. I'm looking at a screenshot right now of it and he runs exactly like that. I hate that.
I'm trying to look at gameplay. I can't find gameplay. I see like cinematics.
Yeah, because it's all like, it's either like gameplay recorded from like someone else's phone while it's being recorded on a phone, or just like cinematic stuff. But like,
I found a good clip. I posted it in the call.
yeah, but like, they do run like this, and I don't like that because it's so fucking stiff. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Okay. You okay, now I'm ready to slam on this.
Yeah. We're
Okay,
actually talking about
here's
the
the
sprite
problem.
now.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it straight because I finally saw how it looks like. First of all, angling. How? Okay, all right, okay. It might look like they're running flatly, but if you notice, like the distance of the face between the edge of the face, right?
Oh yeah.
You're a little bit forward. There's like some kind of 3D to it, right? There's some kind of 3D depth to it. And it's like the face is a little bit forward. The angle of the body, you're making it a little bit too straight, right? They're
Yeah.
angled forward, so you have to like angle the like if you really wanted to capture the essence of how Cookie Run would have, adjust the head forward. Literally just adjust the head forward. Otherwise, it looks stiff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that you might have like gone into this like almost frame by frame, but yeah, the head doesn't look like it's forward enough. The expression isn't even right now that I think about it. But I mean it's kind of understandable. Like you don't really have much pixels to it, right? You're pretty close. You're almost on point. But yeah, like there's like so many minuscule things I could point out. Like first of all, the legs looks the feet looks boxy, right? They don't look curved. They should be curved, or in a way like it's a curved rectangle, right? But what you're doing here is like not enough, and I could see it like skewing like the leg. It's not stretching. If you could tell, like, most of my criticism here is on the face, because it's the one that really sells the entire pose, to be honest. And if you put like the head at the center of the body and not like a little bit forward, it kind of looks like they're just standing still instead of like leaning forwards running.
Yeah.
Everything else though, it's kind of on point, but another criticism here is like I think you're trying to fit it into the canvas. Because like I could tell from the cane is also not tilted enough. Right? It looks more straight than tilted forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. Like everything that I could point out literally has something to do with the face and the angling of pretty much most of the body here. You may want to do another pass for this, like the entire sprite, because like if you look at this single frame over here, hold on, I'm gonna post this on Discord so I could post it on chat. So people could compare.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Put that up on the window.
Yeah, put it up on the stream, I guess.
Look,
Also.
honey.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was doing a thing. Don't worry
Zoning
about
out?
it. No, not zoning out.
Okay, so that's my excuse usually.
It ain't a zone out. I'm pretty focused, but it ain't the kind of focus that's helpful for this thing. Anyway,
Okay.
side by side. You see how like the line of action is way different here? Like for source material, it's just like it's at an angle, right? Probably like 30 degree angle, 32 degree, maybe a little bit less than 30. But like for the one we have in the sprite here is not as like energetic enough. It's more like straight up more than like inward. Like it doesn't like lead into the motion that we're looking at. Another thing that's like hurting this animation is there's no like indication of like weight. It's like skidding across the ground. And I'm like, I actually pulled up a sprite to do the thing, and yeah, no, like I don't know why I just noticed, but it doesn't like move up or down or anything, even though there's frames where you could have it go up and down, and that's mainly because like it's confined in this space.
They don't move up and down in the source material, by the way.
Wait, what doesn't like the face and stuff?
No, like the body, like there's no like head bob or anything. And again,
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I hate that.
that is part of the source material. Yeah.
I hate that.
It doesn't bounce, but there is a little bit of a like a shake to it.
Oh yeah, because it's like the line is like, you know.
No, beyond just like the line, like it does, like he does move around a little bit. Maybe too small of a scale to represent through entire pixels at that resolution. But there is something there. It's not completely stiff.
I just hate how it's so. It's not even the fault of the dude that like submitted it, but just his animation on its own is so boring. It's fucking boring, man. Like it's just legs moving. There's nothing going on here. There's no excitement with him running, and the whole point of the damn game is to run. God damn it. I hate how like it's not how I can't. I really can't. I can't really express how like this is no fault on his own. Like the person that submitted this is not your fault. You went and did the most accurate thing possible for this character, and you did a good job with it, right? It's not a bad sprite because of it. You did like it's authentic, right? But that's why I don't like it. It's because it's authentic, because the authenticity is boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's again, it's no fault of your own. It's the source material's fault. It's literally the source material's fault.
Mm-hmm. I'd argue like you could do like a take where it's a little bit more hyperactive. I think Ori themselves actually is a good example of that.
Yeah, like Ori has like the whole like physics-based motion to it, but it's still a lot of creative liberties. And hell, fucking Shovel Knight was the same way too. Like,
Yeah.
Shovel Knight's idol has way more motion than Shovel Knight did in his own game. Like, it's fine to go that extra mile just to have your animations to look better. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
Make it better than the source material.
Yeah, like, it's supposed to be like a homage. It's supposed to celebrate the source material, not emulate it completely. That's why Shovel Knight's like sprites are just so like great to look at. That's why Ori is like still like impressive, because instead of it just following the norms of the games it came from, they took those norms and went further with it so they can be impressive and celebrate the original source material. And again, you did a great job with emulating how this character runs exactly like it does in the game.
Yeah.
Is it impressive looking? No. It's you're pissing me the fuck off, and it's not your fault, man. Like, that's why I can't. I'm gonna shut up. I'm just gonna pass this over to somebody else.
I think we should move on to the next person.
Yeah, and also, here's I read it in chat. You may want to consider to use the alternative, Cookie Wars, because they have a much more smoother animation there and much more bouncier too. I mean, it's not still good by any means, okay, but it's better than the one we're trying to emulate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like, it's the difference between emulating versus translating, as Alejandro said on the chat. Yes, I roll my R's. Okay. All right. Let's proceed to the next anime.
Actually, before we do that, I do want to throw in one more thing that I was so angry about that I forgot to bring it up, but I wanted to bring it up. So, if anyone looked at T-Dude's Paddler sprites, right, you notice how like he still shows like the 3D space because Paddler's head is kind of like square, right? Do that for this, where it shows like that 3D plane, because it doesn't really show it being in 3D. It's still very flat, but you don't need to like add in an extra like black line around it. You could just use like a darker shade, but not shade the sprite, just show that there's like depth to it.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. I think even with me like yelling about like the motion itself, if you just did that, the sprite would get like 20 times better. But that's just that. Yeah. Let us move over to our next animation, which will be a down tilt with a very interesting character design.
Down tilt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eesh.
yeah. Oh, I actually love this one. I don't know why. I have a soft spot for goldfish inside inside containers.
Yeah, like
That somehow makes it into a fighter. Like I've been gushing about the concept of frigging goldfish as a fighter.
yeah. It's something so like playful that like the world just opens up with how you want to animate it, right? Like you look at this animation or look at this character design and it's like, oh, it's just a goldfish and a thing. But then your next thing that will come to mind when you're designing this character is like, okay, how can I make this really like silly idea into something really like nice, right? Like something eye-catching. And this is it.
Yeah.
This is how you do it.
Yep. It's lovely. It's playful. It's nice. It's cute. Gravity goldfish, I think.
Yeah.
Who made this?
I'm not sure, but it's your turn to rant.
Again.
Wish.
Oh, Civic?
Whoa.
Wait.
Nice.
Civic?
Yeah.
Huh.
You're an artist? I thought you just played Molo.
Well, all right.
You heard it here first.
2004 Honda Civic. Okay. It's so good.
It's really good. Wow, like, yeah, no, like it's just now processing in my brain about wow, holy shit. Anyway,
Highlight on the spin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you use the highlight, like on the fast speed of so many tentacles. You use the highlight to emphasize that it's spinning.
and you told
Right,
no
that's
one
the
about
first-
this, dude? You didn't tell us that you were actually an artist this entire time? You waited to get on Starry Eyes to just reveal that you could do this shit. I applaud you for it, don't get me wrong. Good job, shit. But like, you didn't say a word.
Okay, all right. You got it right. You got the, you know that little pole on the head. I don't know how to take.
Yeah, it's like it's the antenna.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, the antenna. There you go. That would be the proper term. Yeah, it's so good, right? You got the smears right. You just got everything, and like I like how there's like a little subtle squish and stretch on the helmet and stuff.
Yeah.
Going helmet. Is that a helmet? It's
I would
probably
say
like
so.
a fishbowl styled helmet.
Yeah. No, yeah, get it. It's a fishbowl helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know what to add to this, honestly. Like, there's so many good points here that it's like, all right, what's the next point? What's like the point that you could make for this? It's like, it didn't, like, the end frame or some shit. It's like, that's one frame. Come on. This is, like, good. Like, the worst case scenario, you draw one more frame. Yeah. That's literally it. But other than that, holy hell, this is great.
Yeah. Like, this I can't find anything to criticize. The sprite is flawless. Good job.
Yeah, man. Thanks for not telling anybody you can animate. Fucking shit. I'm more hurt that you didn't say anything. Shit. But
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this character.
oh yeah, no, like, please go forward with this. Just do all types of stuff with this. All right.
Yes.
Let's go over to our next submission. Recurring, got our good old boy Don here, and now we got a back dodge actually.
Huh. Oh, by the way, Wish's mic died.
Oh no.
Yeah. She's muted. I'm assuming that's intentional.
Yeah.
Figures this out.
Yeah, no, we gotta.
Oh. Did you get it fixed?
Yeah, I got the audio fixed.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean USB sometimes dies. Okay.
Yeah. Just some technical difficulties. We hate it as much as you guys do.
At least it didn't interrupt the stream.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I say after I interrupted it.
But yeah, we got ourselves a backdash. Yeah. Which one of you guys would like to handle this one?
Let's.
I go. Wish, do you want to?
I already gushed a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could start with this one. This is mostly really good. Like, nice. But the frame rate seems a little low, and it feels like it's kind of missing some frames. Like, I know the frame rate is pretty high because the little, like, the gold blood is very fast in the startup. But, like, his arm in particular, it just kind of, like, snapped. That, like, the coat also kind of snaps, but don't worry about that. It's hard. Nobody will notice that. People might notice the arm, though.
Yeah, I was about to make. I was about to make the same regard on the arm. It's really just the arm,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the rest of it would be unnoticeable.
Yeah.
I'd say you're pretty good on this one.
I would
Except
I would say the help with the arm's motion is to like give one frame. Not even like give one frame, like edit one of the frames here so there would be more of like a anticipation on the hand moving back. Because visually with like the sand like gold thing that's going on here, it visually looks like it's moving from his hand behind his back to the floor, right? You can exaggerate that by having the hand like wind back just a little bit more and then swing backwards, right? And then on that frame where he like throws his arm back, and that's when the gold blood or whatever like is being thrown out, overshoot it by a little bit and then snap it right back.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
overshoots, squash and stretch, all that stuff does wonders with these kind of motions. Like that's like impact, right? Especially if you try to like recreate this motion and like doing this motion where you like throw your arm back to throw something behind you, if you're like tensing your muscles up, you can actually like kind of feel that there's like a little stutter, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like doing this motion myself like right now to like make sure that I'm not like bullshitting anybody, but like there's like a very tiny like stutter when you like throw your hand back. That's overshoot. The thing that like us animators do and do well with this kind of stuff is just exaggerating that overshoot, so visually it looks more impactful and striking. So yeah, like overshoot and anticipation with like how that arm is moved might need like a one more frame just to like round things out. But other than that, no, like I think that's like the biggest thing that you can give to this like animation.
Yeah. Also, to add to that, if you want to imply there is like absolutely no force behind the movement and he's just kind of like lazily doing it to like imply just a smug aura about it, undershoot it for one frame. Just have it settle.
Yeah. Like that works just as well too. Like,
Yeah. Like overshooting implies a lot of force and undershooting implies none.
yeah.
I think we're done here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
a pretty simple one.
like this character has like a very specific mood that it sets off, so it's very easy for us to like pinpoint what we're like looking for with these animations because we've seen them so many times on the podcast. That being said, just a little bit of anticipation, overshoot, undershoot, whatever direction you wanted to take it. All right, let's go over to another idle animation, this time for the Coco Bandicoot from hit series Crash Bandicoot, which is her brother.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna start this one off. All right.
Go.
Okay. Alright. Okay. The very first thing I noticed, like, you know, it looks good-ish already, and then you look at the hair, which somehow, like, it just hangs in the air. right? It doesn't
Yeah.
follow the proper motion of the hair actually flipping. Like, and I think it is partially has to do with one, you're probably restricting yourself in a canvas. I'm seeing this as the common problem. Right? And another, the as since you're restricting yourself with like the movement and everything, the consistency of the rest of the hair changes immensely. Like it's like if you look at the back of the hair, right? You have three frames that just snap to another position that is just wrong,
Yeah.
right? And it applies the same to the hair, but it's not as obvious, right? Because like they're clumped together. But I could see like you're trying keyframes there, but at the same time like you're trying to move too much, and you're not really like transitioning from one frame to another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all what I'm gonna point out here, because like, you know what? It looks okay, except then I just realized the bottom part of the hair, like the one sides of the head, right? It doesn't move at all.
Oh, you want to be a little more peeved at that?
What?
The bangs don't move.
The bangs do not move at all.
Okay, and also here's another tip. The mouth blends into the lighter tone. Don't use pink. Right? It's a design thing. I could see why you're using pink there, but at the same time, you can't see the mouth. And also, they look like a monkey.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing.
To be fair, it's very hard to get a 3D like character like represented well in 2D space. And trust me, the only time where we've had like 2D Crash Bandicoot sprites was when they were just 3D sprites, like 3D images made into sprites. Like in the Game Boy Advance games, those are just 3D models.
Like pre-rendered.
Yeah, pre-rendered.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is more so just like this is more so understanding the medium and how to like bridge that together, because it's very, very obvious that you can translate these things from 2D to 3D and 3D to 2D. Like we have the technology to do that. We all have like the knowledge and like resources to do that stuff. But it's just like fixing up the face for this and make it look more, I guess, pleasing to the eye would be the only like way to explain that.
And another thing I just noticed, by the way, right, the mouth just blends into the left side bang.
It does. Yeah, there's no outline there.
Yeah, the reason why you'd want to use an outline there, right? Because they're not part of the. It's a sharp edge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sharp edge. Use the black lines to basically put a sharp edge there. Unless you're trying to like really make sure that the right side bang sits on like the left side face, but hair doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Alright. What else do you guys have?
Okay. Her her snout, like right where the nose is, there's a missing outline pixel.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see it. It might be the
I
eye,
think...
but like even then, like it still needs
I
to
think
be
they
like rounded
removed
out.
that one pixel there so you could see the nose better.
Also, there are 2 transparent pixels under her mouth. It's hard to
That's
see.
transparent?
Yeah, move it around the screen. Like, move it to a different color.
Oh!
Oh wow,
Oh.
that's different.
Okay.
That is different. That is different.
Yeah, I'm looking at this in Firefox and I checked in Vivaldi. Oh yeah, that's transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to fix that unless she has a temporal hole in her chin and I just didn't know
Yep. I think though they might have not noticed it too. Like if they're working on a white background, yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
why.
That's the reason why in Aesprite I changed that setting in the whatchamacallit, in the checkerboard background. I literally like changed it so I can not have that issue again. And then my dumbass has like characters that are like primarily dark colors on a dark background, and it's the same issue.
This is why I have the background I have for my Aesprite and like my drawing program is basically the color parchment paper. It makes me easily spot out the whites and the blacks.
Yeah.
And like the dark colors and such. Alrighty. Yeah. What else do you guys get point?
I will also say with this, it's very obvious that you focus on the hair more than anything else. Want to know how I noticed that? The legs are only like 2 frames. The legs are literally like the bend is like frame 1 straight, frame 2 bend. Like there's no easing in or easing out that's going on here. It's just straight to bend and then straight to bounce. Normally,
it's surprisingly effective though.
Yeah, it's surprisingly effective, but it also very clearly shows that he or she worked on the hair more than anything else. Like there's a lot of bounce to the hair, but if you're gonna add that bounce, I would suggest adding another frame to like show that, like, because the top half is going down, but the knees are not bending enough to show that she's going lower. Her torso is just going down, and that's not how bodies work. It's springy,
Also,
but like the springing happens at the knees bending. So bend the knees like 1 frame more when she's like at the lowest point, and then have her shoot straight up. You don't need to like immediately like smooth everything out. Like that's not, you don't do that. But just adding another frame, like editing the, I guess don't know which, the frame where she's going to be lowest down, bend the knees a little bit more, and then everything else leave it as is.
Yeah. Although I would disagree in that, but it really depends on you. Also, it's only another. It's just a single pixel there in the knee bend. Okay.
Oh yeah, with
That's-
no outline.
Your knees aren't sharp triangles.
Oh.
Yeah, round that out.
Yeah, and also, you're doing these shoes great. All right, I could see what you're doing. The shoes, doing okay. Adjust the shading though, to reflect that, right? Because like, it looks like you're growing the foot from downwards instead of like actually, tiptoeing or bouncing. So adjust the shading accordingly to that. You did a good job though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, like,
really good job on the body. Hair needs work.
I know I know it may sound like that we're just ragging on you for the sake of ragging on you, but first, like a Coco Bandicoot sprite, like a character that was not designed with like the 2D limitations in mind at all, because it's a 3D character. It's kind of to be expected to not worry about that. But you did a good job for your first pass, man. Like this is a good first attempt. But just like the other submission that was sent in, this might need like another pass at like fixing all this stuff up. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, I forgot what it is.
Oh, welcome to my world.
And then like, oh.
But
all right.
Yeah, let's move over to our next idol animation, which is of the turtle dude. It is not load. I saw the reactions. Is not load. It's totally original turtle dude, smoothing and grooving. Look at him go.
Yeah.
He's jamming.
Yeah.
Hey, he be jamming. grooving, schmooving.
I'll start this one off because you guys like bounce back and forth.
Yeah.
I love like the general groove of this. Like I know that's like, but Sprite, what does that have to do with like your issues with the animation? That's the thing. Like I love like the timing for this. I think this is a pretty good time. Like how you're illustrating like the natural rhythm of this character. I love it. I love how you illustrated that. Most of my gripes would be from like a design point of view, not more so like the character design, but more so of just how the sprite is designed. Like it's, I can't put my finger on it, but something's weird about it. But I think it just comes from you not having as much experience as say I have in pixel art to be like, okay, I need to make the sprite this specific way for it to fit. Like, I'm not holding that against you, right? Especially if this is like you're probably a beginner at this stuff and you did pretty good with the timing on its own. So I can't, I'm not gonna put that against you. I would actually do a little bit more of the rock though, of like the tempo of it, because it's moving to one side and it's moving to another. But there, even with, I see the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga like comments in the chat, I will use that as an example because there is a lot of like the motions settle in to when they like rock from one side to another, right? Even though the game is pretty rhythmic, they move at a rhythm for each, like all the characters in that game. For the battle sprites, they move at some sort of rhythm, right? Every idle animation in that game moves as if it's a dance, right? But there's always like that easing into resting state before they move over to the next like motion, right? And I think that would help a lot. If you want to do some dumb shit, I would actually try and mess around with a little bit of a body turn on this, specifically when he's rocking towards the left, right? Just like a little bit of a turn towards the camera when he's rocking towards the left, and then just like turning towards the right when he's rocking towards the right, right? Like, and you can do that for like that easing in that I was talking about earlier, where like that one frame where like the arms is like flapping up and like the legs are stationary. Like turn the body for like 1, maybe 2 frames, and then ease it back over so it moves over to the other side. But yeah, that's my points. That's stuff I would like to see. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to point this out, by the way, if you guys see like sprite flickering, like the color flickering. That's because of the
Yeah.
And also clarification. We'll do Crazy Dave later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, like when he hasn't made the cut. We saw him in the thing. We are listening to your concerns, but Crazy Dave will be on the next podcast.
I can only do so many.
Yeah, exactly. We can't do everything.
Oh my god, guys, look at when we started streaming this. Almost. Come on.
Oh no. You're so immature. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
We just need one more minute, guys.
It's almost time.
Anyway.
This is the longest minute ever. Nice.
There we go. Mazel tov, everybody.
Nice.
Oh
So
my
mature.
God. Also, Thank you for like. Have you guys noticed that we've doubled our viewership? We doubled.
Yo.
We have a consistent
Yo.
20 now.
Nice.
Thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
Right. Let's proceed to our last one.
Actually, before we move on.
Yeah.
I have a minor critique of the sprite.
Yes.
Okay. Because I got nothing on this.
Hold on. Keep it
That's
going.
my critique.
No, keep it going. I gotta pause the music.
I can't believe. I can't believe. I actually can't believe that was on rhythm.
Amazing.
Amazing. If you're wondering why I haven't said anything, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Like the things that I brought up is more so just like fancifying it, right? Like that is just like polished and extra like show off shit. Like Sprite Stars things, you know, like excessive shit that no one really needs to be doing for a mod they're making for free. Like
yeah. And I like the guy was like subtle things and like, you know,
yeah,
this is good. This is good.
It's good animation. Let's move over to our last animation.
What a turtle can do for what a turtle can do.
Let's move over to our last animation of the night. And we got ourselves an up special, I believe. This is from our NES rep that we've reviewed a couple of times before.
That guy, yeah. I forget his name, but I know.
Yeah. But yeah, we got ourselves like a up special like move going on right here. No, it's not Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, it just was. But yeah, they're representative of basically the NES era, in case you guys don't know. How do you guys? I'm gonna let you guys start on this one. I mean, I can't really comment much on this one.
It's
they're called Nick, by the way.
Yeah, Nick. It's very weird because what I would like to say for this is on the before it looks like he's supposed to leave the ground, squash him down a little bit, you know, like make his knees bend so there's more like anticipation and like build up for when he's when he's like jumping up, because you don't just jump standing up. There's always like a bend of your legs when you're going to jump. I'm not sure if that's like something to say for a character that's representing like the NES era, but I would still say that would be like a thing that you should consider. Just like one frame of anticipation, and where you just like the knees are bending down.
For me, okay, you may want to redraw those legs, right? Like the moment it goes up, it just looks off. I don't know what it is, but I think it's like the top part of the bend of the left leg, right?
Yeah.
The bend looks really weird. Like I know it's gonna be like, you know, like in the style of an NES game, which is like, you know, it kind of like feels like Burger Time in a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something off about it. You may want to redraw it.
Looking at the chat, it was like, what is the cat bending with his hand? It is not bending with the hand. The character is like jumping straight up at a diagonal, so the cap's like whatever the lid or whatever it's called is bending downward because that's where like the motion is pulling from, right?
It's rising then falling.
Yeah, like it's still gravity at like the brim. Yeah.
Yeah.
the brim of the hat is still like conforming towards gravity, and I think that's like the strongest part of this animation because it shows it extremely well.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else you guys got for this?
Also, like the, I don't know what it is, but like, you know, the back leg on when going up, also, it's kind of like squished.
Yeah.
Squished.
Whoa.
Right. That's why the front leg looks off as well. And not to mention, right there's like at the end at the tip of the bend over there, like it looks like you just rotated it improperly, because like I could also see like there's like a kind of like this weird plus at the end of the foot. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Like the rest, I'm not gonna criticize that much, because like the hand being instant there, yeah, I could see that being like an NAS thing. So
Yeah.
perfectly fine. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I mean, like aside from like, oh, you actually finally animated the rim, like the brim properly, and the hair at the back too, and the rest of the body, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Like the body flapping.
Yeah. Like the clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a lot more movement than I thought, actually.
Yeah.
When I think about it, this is like a lot more movement than the previous submissions that you guys like seen before. In a way of like body physics and such.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, it's always a good thing.
Yeah.
No. Check it out. His torso twists a little bit. Nobody does that.
Ooh. Ooh.
But you can tell like through the like the neck part of the I forget the collar, I guess.
Yeah.
His torso twists a little bit when his arms move. That's a really good sign.
Yeah. You're drawing
notice.
different parts of the body, and that's good.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're recognizing that like the body is turning, and that's for a lot of like beginners and even some intermediates, like that's like the hardest thing to like notice, right? Because you're just like drawing things down. It's like, oh, it's moving. This is good. GG. Like,
Yeah.
recognizing all that stuff is moving how it is.
Here's a little tip though. Yeah, I said like, oh, it's an NES thing that like the hands like instant there. Maybe like just to like help out the motion there, make the hands like 1 frame larger before defaulting to that. So like you have that impact over there.
Yeah. Like right now, like when the hand is going up, it's just like shows up there. But if you did something else with it, that'll just make this animation way more lively. And you don't even have to like mess with the rest of the body even. Just making the focal point of this move, which is the hand, and whatever it's going to be showing up. Because if I remember correctly, you brought up something about how a mechanic with this character changes the properties of this move. Like an item shows up or something on that hand. So like something to show that he's like showing it off more, even something as subtle as like moving the pixels up like diagonally upward to be like, look at that. Like that can work.
Also, I see the argument of like one hand is slightly bigger than the other. That's fine. The intent of the move is to attenuate the hand.
Yeah.
And like if you notice, like they move back to neutral position, they form back to normal size. That means it's just a cartoon uppercut in an intent.
Yeah.
That way.
Like doing cartoony stuff is fine. Like look at Zetterburn. Look at Orcane. Like look at literally look at any of the starting characters in Rivals of Aether. They all go under those like same kind of properties, like where there's hand like growths of parts that are doing whatever impact they're showing.
Yeah, like a good example of the counterpoint to this. I put it in the chat.
I mean, oh yeah.
That's in the game. That's normal.
So anyone who's has played Smash Brothers knows that a certain plumber does this very thing, and Mario's animations almost exclusively always have like a frame or 2 frames where the hand gets larger than it needs to and then shrinks back down, because that's an actual like animation like trick to show impact without making like things like over elongated and things like that. Like this, that is a form of squash and stretch. Like that is a form of like overshoot.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. You don't have to keep everything 1-to-1 all the time. If it fits the look of or the feel of your character, or in like Zetaburn, Orcane, and all that stuff, there are cases where like you need to show that hitbox that's gonna be way bigger than you would think it would be, a little better. Then you make Orcane make the big sea mouth. Like you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it fits, it hits.
Yeah.
All right.
Just do the thing.
Yeah.
Do combo.
Also, that Mario picture, that's his jab.
Yeah, no, that's jab 1.
Jab 1.
Like that's his first hit for that.
It comes out like frame 4.
Yeah, like you don't need that like growth in hand or leg or whatever, foot, to be like, oh, that's the strongest hit. It's like, no, you just need to show off that the hit is going to land, dude.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. And other than that, just fix like pretty much how the leg works, because like right now it kind of looks weird, right?
Yeah.
It looks weird. I could see the intent there, but it also looks weird. But other than that, yeah, pretty much everything we just said.
Yeah.
Wait. The
What?
reason the back leg looks so weird, I think their canvas is restricted.
Oh no, the camera is not canvas is not restricted. There's a lot of space between like the back leg and especially in the front side of this character. I'm looking at like the red box around OBS. Like he has room. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was suspicious because like the bottom pixel of his back leg,
Yeah, no, like
the same
Yeah.
point as the front leg. I was like, that's the bottom of the canvas. That's it.
But yeah, stretch it a little bit further, then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also clean up the other leg, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're done.
Yeah, and as always, everybody, if there's like any extra information that you guys want to ask from us, whether it be from me, Geek, or Wish, you can always find us in whatever the name of the channel, the modding critique, used to be. Just hit us up there. Sometimes DMs too. It's fine. Like, show us what you got. If you don't want to like submit something and wait another week to get like some feedback on this stuff. But yeah, no, do not feel afraid to at least like hit us up in DMs or like tag us or something. Like, it's fine. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining Aether's Workshop Starry Eyes. Thank you for everyone that's been submitting the submissions. Then thank you everybody who's been patient with this. It's kind of a slow burn with this once a week kind of thing, but we're catching up. But yeah, join us next week for the rest of the animations that we gotta catch up to, and we will review you guys next. Spoilers: there might be a Crazy Joe of sorts, Crazy Steve, Crazy Dave, whatever his name is.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're curious about where the last time we stopped, there's a huge hulking next now. Anyway, a huge hulking next emote on the next one, the next feed that we're going to do, and starting from then on. And yeah, remember to shine your way and reach your dreams. Keep it simple, everybody. Keep it simple.
Peace out, everybody.